Good afternoon. A great speaker, a great giant, an African one for that matter, said education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. Now, do you believe that to be true? How many of us do believe this statement to be true? Please raise your hand. Quite certainly, you wouldn't be here if you didn't believe in the power of education. I also do. But my question has always been, while education can change the world, the question is, changing the world to what? Have you ever wondered or asked that question? A great American philosopher and transcendentalist called Henry David Thoreau said, if you see a man not following the pace of his companions, maybe he's dancing to the beat of a different drama. So let him dance to the beat that he hears, however different or far away. So to understand what motivates and drives somebody's actions, you need to understand the beats that is in his head. My name is Boris Ondo, and I have to be upfront with you. I don't like education. I don't like schools. Now, you may be wondering, what happened to the casting? How did they get this guy on stage to come in this great educational institution? Don't worry. And please, don't call the security yet. I'm just daring to be different. I believe in something else because I was groomed to believe more in knowledge and in contribution rather than in education. You see, knowledge is the fact of information that you acquire that you can recall and use in any different conditions and situations. But education is how you acquire that knowledge. My problem is the package that the knowledge that has always been brought to us has been looking like, which is the package of education. Now, let me take you to what groomed me to believe in what I do. I was born in a small French-speaking country in Africa called Gabon. Now, when you hear Gabon, you might be stopping for a bit and thinking, Gabon, is it not? Yes, it is. But that's a topic for a different conversation. But I was born there. And I was born to a teenage lady. She was 17. She dropped out of middle school to take care of me. My father left before I was even born. We later met when I was 17 for some reasons. My mom, having dropped out of middle school, ended up a housekeeper. She was cleaning people's houses, mopping floors and washing dishes and ironing clothes, going from house to house to do that job, to be paid at the end of the month for about $100. And sometimes she would take me along with her. And while she would be working hard, I would be sitting on the corner watching her. And when the houses had kids of my age, we would be playing together. And I've forged great friendship with many of them, even till now. But my mother, just like any other parents, believed in education as well. But she believed in education in an exceptional way. She only believed in education as a means to provide you an opportunity to succeed in life. But what she really valued was knowledge and contribution, the impact you bring to the world. She usually tell me, Boris, wherever life throws you at in this arena of life, don't worry, but seek to know how you can charter your own pace to make it in your life. She told me, wherever you got, whatever your condition, don't be ashamed of yourself. And don't let anybody feel pity for you. More or less, feel pity for yourself. I learned to be who I am from this woman. After working house to house, cleaning places, mopping floors, she would come back home and she would open her little bungalow shop where she would sell all the basic necessities, soil, oil, soap, vegetables, even soft drinks. She will be engaging in savings and credit association to help women in the community. She was only 30, but she was like the oldest woman in the community because of the influence she had based on her contribution. And that I learned from her. But unfortunately, at age 32, my mom passed away. I lost my focus. The only choice that I had was to travel to the village to be with my grandmother. And this is the actual picture of the road to the village. Looks like this. With my grandmother, you would believe my mom was inspiring and very strong, but my grandmother was the epitome of wisdom, strength, believed in character, believed in attitude, believed in personality and contribution. And she told me, go to school, but make sure you are valuable to the people you are with. And valuable to the people, I was. I engaged in education, I engaged in community organization, not liking schools, skipping classes, many teachers complaining, until one day, one teacher met me and changed my life. I was sworn in as a student president while I was still in middle school because of the contribution I brought to the school. And that teacher one day called me and he offered me a book. Different from all the narratives of all the speaker would give to students to encourage them and help them work hard to get good grades. He would tell me, Boris, you've got a lot of potential. And I know you don't like education, clearly. You miss class all the time. You're always out there with communities. But let me tell you, if you want to make it in your community work, you need knowledge. Because without knowledge, you won't be that valuable to those communities you value. And he handed me a book about a young man like me who was enthusiastic about helping others, but was ruined all the way in his career because he didn't have the appropriate guidance and knowledge. And that book I read, not once, several times. And I came back to him for more, and he gave me more, and one more, and one more. I fell in love with reading, and I had just discovered my first mentor. But what that teacher really didn't know was that he strengthened my hatred for education. But my thirst for knowledge grew. After I graduated from high school, I got a prestigious scholarship from the Korean government. And I came to Korea, and if you're looking for me, I'm here. But getting a scholarship, being two selected out of the hundreds of students who applied to come to Korea, I didn't realize what I got myself into. I didn't realize that Korea was a country that valued education. As a matter of fact, there is an education fever in this country. It's a country that was built out of the ashes of war and extreme poverty based on education. Students work hard. A lot of news of people committing suicide because they want to achieve higher grades and do great performances. So when I, who doesn't like education, get to come to Korea, I really didn't know what I was getting to. After studying Korean language for a year, I went to Hanguk University of Foreign Studies to study political science and diplomacy, a department that didn't have any African students from its start, talk less of foreign students, only 4 of them. 99% of the classes were in Korean, and 99% of the professors only spoke in Korean, couldn't communicate, couldn't talk to anybody. Sometimes I would be sleeping in class and only wake up when I hear people clap and begin to clap along with them, even if I didn't get what they were saying. It was tough. To understand the course, I would have to translate a paper. 1 page would take me 4 hours. Now imagine you have 4 courses with 4 chapters, each of them 20 pages. I became a national translator, not a student. That was tough. My professors all thought I had no future in this country because I couldn't perform in school. My classmates all thought I had no value. What will I become if I can't study? But one day, I met this lady, my professor of participatory development. a little bit like Professor Kim Dong-yeong. And she told me, Boris, I've been in more than 50 countries around the world, and I've met a lot of young people like you in developing countries, smart like you, quiet like you, maybe handsome like you. She didn't say that, I added up. But she said, what makes you different from all these young people who perform as good as you there for you to be here in this wonderful country, not them? I have to tell you, when she asked me that question, I didn't quite respond because she caught me off guard. But as I entered into myself for a self-analysis, I realized, because of my concerns for good grades and how the Korean society had wanted to mold me, I was losing what had been so far my superpower. My ability to love knowledge, go for it. My thirst for contribution, helping others, impacting the communities and societies. And when she told me that, I jumped back, got back to what got me to Korea. I built a personal library of more than 500 books, personal books. I was reading like crazy. I engaged into community activities. I engaged into public speaking. I engaged into life of organization and association. I won many awards. I got my superpower back. To the point where in a university that was called the biggest global university in the country, they didn't have any international organization for international students. And I worked hard with my colleagues to build the first ever international organization in the school, which ended up providing scholarships to students years after I even left. After I graduated there, I got a good job, served as a diplomat at the Embassy of Gabon for many years. I will skip you the video because of time. I got an internship at the National Assembly, the first African to ever do so, not because I liked education, not because I was smarter, but because I thirsted for contribution and knowledge. I worked as a diplomat for about 5 years. Great job, great opportunities for great contribution. I'm now a consultant and personal trainer, dealing with great companies like Kia, like Menarini, a great career up front. All this because I embraced what had made me different so far. Your gift, your talents, your inner potential is your difference. You need to learn that it is predetermined. You need to make it your most valuable asset to thrive in this life. Accept what makes you you. Your difference is your blueprint. Your difference is your right, is your freedom. Like Frankl said in his book, it is your last man freedom. Your difference is your superpower. As a matter of fact, your difference is you. If you reject it, you reject yourself. People and the world will be willing to tolerate your difference. As a matter of fact, they will be compelled to accept your difference only if that difference makes a difference. Only to the extent to which you can be valuable. So enforce yourself to become valuable in your difference. And the world will have but no choice to accept your difference. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, if a man has a gift and lives in the bush, even if he lives in the forest, people will create a beaten path to meet him there because of the contribution that he can make. How do you strive in an outstanding country like Korea, not liking education? The answer is to embrace your difference. When you embrace it, work at it, accept it, and contribute, even in an outstanding society, you can become outstanding. Thank you.